You're about to meet two people that are very dear to me. One I've known since they were born. Yeah, they kind of interrupted my life because it was good. I was 3 years old and everything was all about me. And then here he comes. But you'll get to see some emotion and thoughts that he's had. And yeah, I tried my best not to cry. I really did. So we'll see if I made it. So now you guys are going to get to meet a couple of people that are a part of my life, very significant in my life. And you probably guessed who they are based on the helmets. Only one of the helmets is correct. So let's reveal the correct helmet. Who's behind that one? Ah! So yeah, it's my sister and brother. Yay!
What's up?
Thank you guys for doing this. I had to ask, and the fun thing is Garry, you were born into it, and Jenean, you inherited me. You're welcome.
Yes, I did.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and look, I said your name wrong. I said Jenean. That's not how I say your name. It's not. I don't know if I want to say how I say your name because I don't want anybody else to say it.
Yeah, that belongs to you.
Well, you know what? You can say it because no one else can say it that way, and if they try, I won't answer.
That is true. I might have to build up to it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But yeah, I wanted to get you guys' perspective, just of me being diagnosed with MS. This is 14 years. Garry, I'm 3 years older than you, and so life was good, and then I was spoiled and getting everything, and then here you come, and so it's yeah, it just kind of messed up the flow of the house, So I still like you, I think people would be shocked to know that we used to fight like cats and dogs. Mm-hmm. And it's always amazing to me to see siblings get along. I'm like, they don't fight. That is so neat that they don't fight. Like, they get along because Garry had a really bad temper as a kid. I just want to throw that out there. But it was bad. Like, jump up, punch me in the head. I think did I push you downstairs? I think I did.
You've done a lot of stuff, and that's because you knew my buttons and you knew how to press them.
Yeah. So I think our neighbor at one point said, "Your children are going to kill each other." But that was bad. What we did, like push into a window, and Garry would jump up, punch me in the head, and thank God he grew out of that.
Yeah, and she stuck my hand in hot water. So glad you grew out of that.
I did. Although sometimes, like I might have to, but yeah, I would never do that again. I would.
Right. That's how I feel about what I've done.
But yeah, it's just fun to see people enjoying their sibling. It's like very cool. So I wanted to get your perspective, Garry and Jenean. Garry, you having a father diagnosed and a sister, what your thoughts were, and even what your thoughts are now. And then Jenean, I just want to hear, your thoughts on having an amazing sister-in-law. Yeah. That's it. That's all. I just want to know that. So yeah, can you please share?
Okay, who you want to go first?
Garry.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
So just to give backstory, when our parents divorced, I went to go live with my dad, and Dania lived with my mom. And it was about 98 to where my dad was really starting to show symptoms. He had already had them, I'm sure on a minor level, but as far as symptoms that I started to see, it was around 97, 98. So later in '98, I then found out that he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis a while back, and I had no idea what it was. So it was new to me. So I saw my dad walking with a cane, and I saw his leg would get stiffened, just symptoms of MS. And then eventually he then went to a scooter. So I just saw the whole process of it going from him walking with a cane to being wheelchair bound, to what he is now. Mm-hmm. And during that time, I wasn't emotional, which is weird. I hated the fact that my dad had to go through all of that, but I didn't get emotional when I really saw him going through the phases. So by the time he was in the wheelchair, I don't say this in a bad way, but I said, okay, his symptoms are done progressing. So this is what it is. So I will accept.
You're saying the sorry for interrupting. Are you saying the first wheelchair or the chair that he's in now?
The chair he's in now. Okay. So when he got to that, I was like, okay, he's done. So I've seen all that I could see. Then when you got your diagnosis, I couldn't believe it. And you were so young. So let me see, well, I won't share your age.
I'm 40. It's okay. I'm 40.
Okay.
I'm
okay.
40.
So then, yeah. So then you were what, 26?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Look at you in your math. I see you. Go ahead.
Right. So you being 26, I'm like, no, that's not possible. MS is for old people. Like that's how I felt at that moment. I had never known somebody so young. So we were still living in separate states. So I didn't see what you were going through.
That's when I was living in Georgia.
Yeah. But it was the trip in Pittsburgh in 2009, I want to say. Or no, it might have been 2011. But basically, I saw the difference. Like I saw your legs stiffen up, and when we were at Giant Eagle, I saw how you had to use the grocery cart to keep your balance, and that's where it hit me. I remember us going to the airport, and I cried when I was walking back. I'm sure you remember that. Because I cried because I felt like I was done watching a family. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna get through it.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. When Daddy finally finished, I think I keep crying because I'm looking at Dani. But
my box is empty. Can you please stop?
I need a full one right now.
Yeah.
But the reason why it hurt was because I'm like, okay, I saw my dad go through all of this. I'm fine now. I don't have to go through it again. Now I have to see my best friend go through what my dad went through. So I couldn't take it. So that was my experience with it.
I don't know where this came from, by the way.
What's that?
Oh yeah, no, I remember that because you, I can't remember why you walked off, but when you came back, I was like, oh shoot.
I think I went to the restroom or something.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah, it was something I had to do real quick.
Yeah.
I was fine that whole trip, but when like it just hit me just out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. So that's how I handled your diagnosis. Was to see it, to have to go through it again, watching somebody that I love go through those symptoms. Even till this day, I look at where you're at right now, and it's not easy, but I'm better. So yeah, that's how I feel regarding your diagnosis. But what keeps me happy about you and how you're handling it is how you're taking lemons and turning them into lemonade. You have teenagers, you have just many small groups, you've been on, what was it, Yahoo, just what you're doing with it. It takes the negative out of it, and I'm seeing a huge positive. So that helps me not think about the physical changes, because you're making a change in a way that's blessing so many people. So that's what I love seeing about your diagnosis with it. So I know I sound crazy.
I'm trying.
So Donnie is laughing at me right now because I'm still trying to get it together. And when I cry and when I'm trying to get it together, it cracks her up. So that's why she's still laughing.
Yeah, and I'm trying not to just break down into ugly tears, and I just think about something else. I think about that time. I'm kidding. I'm not. I don't know what I'm thinking, but yeah, I have to. Because it was going to be ugly. So I just breathe and find random tissue that was next to my purse and dab your eye. But no, I think about you with that. And honestly, I started having symptoms in 2004.
Okay.
So I was 24. And who knows, I could have been, dealing with it before then. But I felt like I was walking sideways. And the doctors were like, oh, you passed all your tests. I did all types of tests, stuff attached to my brain, the eye tests, hearing tests, everything, MRI. And I remember a doctor saying, like, we don't know what's wrong with you. And I told them about Dad. And they're like, oh, that's what you have. Like, it was a light bulb moment for them. And I was like, I'm going to ignore you, because I just told you what it is, type of thing. And then my symptoms went away. But sometimes I wonder, did they go away or did I just get used to them? So that, that was that. And then 2 years later, in 2006 is when my body went numb from my chest down, and my hands are still numb. I can't feel all the way. I remember someone tried to shock me with a pen in my hand, and they're like getting shocked. I thought they were joking. I was like, I don't feel that, and he's like, you don't feel that? I'm like, no, I don't feel that. But yeah, it's been interesting, and I do think about you all the time, because you were with Dad going through that. I remember probably my last hug with Dad standing up was my prom picture, actually graduation. Yeah. That was the last picture that we took when we were hugging. So yeah, that's difficult. I remember when Grandma used to live downstairs from Dad, and he opened up his door, whatever aide was there, opened the door, and he was in the wheelchair, and I could not stop crying. And I was like, thank God Grandma's downstairs, because I had to go into her apartment and pull myself together, because it's like the tears were falling out of my eyes. And it wasn't like it was just, they're just dropping. If that's the best way I can explain it. And he's looking like, what's wrong with you? And I'm grateful for my dad's sense of humor, because he jokes a lot. And I appreciate that. And I think that's where I get it from, where I joke and I laugh, and You know, it is what it is. But Jenean, for you, you know, how was that for you? First of all, let me just give the backstory of Jenean, because
my eyes were quick.
Fix your mascara.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fix my makeup. I've been crying my eyelashes out.
That's what it is. Let me see your tissue. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no makeup on there. You're good. Yeah. But I lost my. Oh, so Garry and Jenean were dating when I was in Georgia, and I kept going, do you like who is Jenean? Like, what did you say? He's like, just a friend. And so when they started dating, I was like, Jenean, I was not supposed to like you, you know. So it was you know, so that was fun. I just always joke about that. But Jenean has been great. You know, it's like having that big sister that you didn't have, and you get to have tea parties when it's the royal wedding, and you guys stay up and put on. I still have my was it tiara? Yeah, tiara. Yeah, you see how girly I was, right? Back in like, it is you know, the little crown thingy. But yeah, so to be able to do that and get desserts and, you know, just have fun and be able to do that when Gary's out of town so he doesn't ruin it. But yeah, so I appreciate you for that. And I, you know, just you know, you married into the crazy I am. Though you don't have to agree, you know, but yeah.
I totally agree.
But yeah, what are your thoughts? You know, how did you feel? And you get to see my brother, you know, show emotions that I don't get to see. But even with you and, you know, having to not deal, but, you know, yeah. And for lack of a better word, deal with, you know, my diagnosis.
You know, it's an interesting position being on the outside of this dynamic with the two of you and not having siblings of my own, certainly people that I'm very close to that I consider my sisters or my brothers or even cousins, and we were kind of raised more like siblings. I can only imagine what the experience is, what he's feeling. I can see it, but I'm not living it with him. I am grateful, however, that as a result of walking with my mom through her diagnosis of dementia and then Alzheimer's and then losing her, unfortunately, to those things, I understand what it's like to watch a family member get a diagnosis and go through something. And I understand what it's like to be a caretaker. And I understand what it's like to have to put on that brave face sometimes and be strong for them, because, you know, it's enough that they're going through whatever they're going through. It just adds to it when they see you stressing out about what they're going through. So we've been able to support each other because in a lot of ways we understand what those challenges are like. In terms of our relationship, I wasn't around when you got diagnosed, but over the years, I have been a part of your life as you've gone through different challenges and changes. And, you know, you can ask God why. He may not always give an answer, but he will show you that if you just get past the why, you can get to what I've called you to do with whatever's going on. And it is encouraging and inspiring to watch you walk this journey and your determination to, no matter what, praise him and actually look to the bright side. You know, sometimes people find their motto, they they develop a brand, and it seems so far from who they actually are. Like the marketing for it works, it's amazing, but
Yeah.
it seems like it doesn't even mesh with who they are. But that whole Bright Side 365, that is you.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
is completely you. And if I know there's been times where I've been challenged with some things, and a little voice would say, what would Dania do?
Mm.
How would she handle that? And so it's a blessing to see not just how you're making inroads and strides in the MS community and being there for the teens and the other groups that you're a part of, but just for not only your family and the people in your circle, but strangers.
Yeah.
We don't have to walk a mile in your shoes to be inspired by your light.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you. That
That's
was
good.
good. Did you just drop the mic? Like
She
an
sure
answer.
did. It's right over
Okay,
there.
that's all. But yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I think I try to laugh as much as possible too. I know it gets on people's nerves. I'm not gonna say whose nerves, but I laugh at the wrong times. It just happens on accident. I try not to laugh, but I do, but sometimes I laugh to stop myself from bawling so hard, or like I just I don't know if that's good or bad, but I have to laugh or I will fall apart, and of course trust God. Like that is number 1, 2, 3, and 4 for me, and beyond that, it's just to trust God, have a moment, and let's go back to trusting God. I saw something recently. It's like allow people to feel what they're feeling, and so I do have those moments, and then I pull it together. Like, all right, that was a moment, and that's it. But I appreciate you guys and being helpful, and yeah, it's just great. One thing that I love, and Gary, I think I've told you this before too, it's like, yeah, you saw Dad, go through what he went through. But fortunately, number 1, God is a healer. And 2, medications have gotten so much better, for MS, that there's options. Like the fact that I'm able to take a medication twice a year. That wasn't, when I first started, it was 3 times a week. I got to shoot myself. And it was the worst. I hated it because I would have so many negative effects. And sometimes I'd get up in the morning and I can barely move my legs. I couldn't even lift my leg up to get dressed because of the reaction I had to the medication. So I'm grateful, for the growth, in the medical field, but also just different options, that are available. And just, thank you guys for, being honest and all of that, and being vulnerable, even, in your expressions or emotions. But Gary, I remember watching Dad, you saw it firsthand, because at first we were both living with Dad, but when you guys moved out of Inglewood, I'm like, I gotta finish at Inglewood. I'm like, I'm not gonna, because we had been in Inglewood since '88. So I'm not going to leave my friends I've been in school with since 4th grade, my junior year of high school. It's like, no, I'm gonna do junior and senior, and I'm gonna graduate from Inglewood. But yeah, it is, do I have some regrets? Yeah, I do. But, at the same time, I'm grateful, not taking medication as soon as I thought I should, as soon as I should have. Sometimes I'm like, man, I should have. But then if I would have taken the medication, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in, possibly not be in this situation and not be able to be there for the teens, which are my babies and other people. And,
Yeah.
you know, I remember praying one time or just telling God, like, I'm willing to go through whatever you want me to go through, but I know in the end, you will heal me. So
Yeah.
if I need to do this, I'm going to do this because it's going to help somebody, but I know that you have me the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I appreciate, you know, what he's doing, you know, in and through me, and grateful for you guys, Jenean. It's like I'm glad that my brother has you, you know, and that you know, we had the family had an issue with your team choice. You know, that was a little rough, but we pushed past it because you love my brother so much. I'm like, it's okay that she's a Ravens fan. We'll live, we will live. But yeah, but I appreciate being able to have that rivalry too. You know, when they play, and it's really good when the Steelers win, but when they lose, I'm just
it's even better.
Yeah, salty. I'm just like, you know, I'm still disappointed in my brother for putting on that Ravens jersey. I'm like, you don't bet like that. So I had to have a little conversation with him.
Yeah.
And when he said, take one for the team, I'm like, what team? We would not do that. That is a no. You took that for your wife. I have nothing to do with that. So, yeah.
Never made that bet again.
Yeah, you better not. Trust me, you better not. Like, hold on. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys, and thank you so much. And yeah, you guys have a question for me because I have 3 for you.
Okay.
Oh. Well, let us have it.
All ready?
Yeah.
All right. So first question is, are you guys, and you have to answer separately, call or text? Would you rather call somebody or text somebody? And Jenean, you can go first. Sorry, I cut you off, Garry. I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, no, you're good.
It depends. It depends because I would prefer to call, but that doesn't matter if you're trying to contact someone who's a texter.
Yeah, but your
call them and leave a bunch of messages.
Yeah, no, your preference.
Whatever will get through to the person I'm trying to reach.
Okay.
That's my preference.
Gotcha. And Garry?
Yeah, it really depends on who it is. I know that sounds awful. But if it's somebody that I'm like really close to, 100% a phone call. But if
Is
it's
that
someone,
why you text me all the time?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But yeah, if it's somebody that I know I'm just kind of like, really not today, then it's gonna be a text. But
I'll forget you too.
Right. But if I had to choose one, I would say phone call.
Okay. All right. Okay. Dream age. If you could be any age again, what would it be? Or if you could stay at an age, what would that age be?
Ooh. I would probably say 30.
Okay. All right. What about you, Jenean? Your face.
Wow.
I should have gave y'all the pre-questions.
Yeah.
Or the questions before.
That is
Well, I could explain mine.
Yeah, why?
I would like to be
I
at
did
30.
not ask you to explain.
Huh? Oh, no
I
explanation?
did not ask
I want to
you
know.
explain.
Why 30?
Okay. Well, can I explain it to her?
No. When we get off, no, I'm kidding. You can explain. I was kidding.
I think because by the time I got to 30, I had accomplished like everything I wanted to accomplish. I had finished school, got married, and just hit the milestone of being 30. So I felt like, and that's still like a young age to me. So I think that's why I would want to stay at 30.
Okay.
Do I remember 30?
It was like last week.
Girl, no.
All right, I'll let you think about that one, and then I'll ask my question. But you have to do double thinking. So I'm going to ask you this one first, and then you can go back to thinking about the other. So, dream peanut butter and jelly sandwich. What kind of peanut butter and what kind of jelly? And this is Jenean first. So then she could.
Okay. I would go with Jiffy peanut butter.
Mm-hmm. Smooth or crunchy?
I would go with smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the jelly, I do some kind of wine jelly, like a Merlot or a Cabernet jelly.
You fancy.
Yes.
You fancy.
And then I would have to pick like just the right kind of bread to really enhance the flavors for that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. I'm gonna have to try that one day.
It's
and
amazing.
Nice. And Gary, okay, Jenean, you can go back to thinking.
Well, mine won't be long, so.
Talk slow, boy. Talk slow.
Right. So mine's would be what is it? Skippy? Is that the brand name peanut butter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Skippy smooth peanut butter. Smucker's Welch's grape jelly with it's the artisan wheat bread.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe I'll change it to the bread that I make. I could do that. Yeah.
She makes amazing bread.
I'll put it on the bread that I make.
Oh, that's rude. Yes, right there. Yes, that is good. I think I just saw a picture of your bread. Did you make it recently or something?
Yeah.
Or was a picture posted?
Last weekend.
Oh, yep. That's when I saw it. And I was like, all right. Okay, do you know your age now? Your dream age?
I think I would go back to maybe like 2021.
Okay.
No. I'd go back to 35. Because there's things it's not regrets, but there are things that I now wish I had done as I was heading into my 40s.
Gotcha. Look, my light just went out.
Oh.
But very good. Sorry, hold on. That's what just happened.
Well, friend date.
Exactly. No.
Is that why you want to?
Yeah, she wants to go back and have dinner with me again.
That's unfortunate.
Sped it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, like, there's my. Oh nope, it's just not gonna come back on. But oh well. Yeah, no, it's done. It is done. I think. Yeah. Oh well, but thank you guys so much.
Oh,
thank you. I didn't have my charger in, but I appreciate y'all.
We appreciate
I really
you
do,
too.
and I'm glad 35. Good job, man.
I picked an age.
You said what?
I said I finally picked one. I was literally like, was it 8? Was it 16, 18, 21, 35, 39?
Look, I got it. Watch this. This is what'll happen. Ta-da!
Awesome.
Live! later.
What did you do?
Yeah, I plugged it in.
Oh.
That's what I did.
It took you that long to figure it out?
No, I just happened to see the plug right there. And I was like, I can plug it back in.
You're too busy, just plug it in.
Hey, watch it. Watch it. But anyway, I love you guys and thank you so much.
We love you too.
Love you too, Nadia.
And yeah, I'll see you guys sooner than later.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah. All right. See y'all.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And yeah.